had somebody mentioned to me this week, said, hey, you've been highly critical of Matthew Stafford. You've written a column for the Oakland Press that says he should be traded. They have to do this. It's a solution for him. And intimating to me, that I've jumped off the quote-unquote Matthew Stafford bandwagons. Look, I understand, what realm I'm in, doing talk radio, being in the media and all that. And I understand that people kind of, especially these days, equate things with you're either on the bandwagon or you're off the bandwagon and all that. I've never looked at it that way. I've always looked at things and tried to look at them analytically. And looking at Stafford, the reason I defended him quite a few times in the past is I felt, honestly, he's gotten too much blame every time the Lions would lose, even if he wasn't the reason why, and seldom gotten credit when they've won. And, there was a certain element out there, just Matthew Stafford haters. Cool. But looking at it analytically, the reason I feel the way I feel about it, look, they may have to take a big cap hit to do it. They may have to get creative. Look, he's going to want to get out of here because I think it's time for him to move on from this town. This town's had enough of him, and I think he's had enough of this town after a decade, and it's just not working. But the reason why is, to me, it's like 3 times I've seen this now. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. I saw it in 2013. They were 6-3. Yeah, it was less than ideal circumstances. Calvin Johnson's hand wasn't very right, and he dropped some passes because of it. He didn't have other great receivers. Lions were a flawed team. But still, Stafford was complicit in what happened when they lost 6 of those 7 games, and it cost Schwartz and Lenahan and that coaching staff their jobs. It really did. With Caldwell comes in, and, it doesn't, works well for a year. A lot of things happened right for them in 2014. But in 2015, there were a lot of expectations. Things fell apart on the Lions, and they needed Stafford to step forward beyond what he did. No, he was complicit in what happened in that 1-7 start. Cost, Lombardi, the offensive line coaches, their jobs, the GM, the president. He didn't do anything to put the team on his shoulders. Now, with Cooter, it seemed like he made a lot of improvements. Completion percentage up, 6-7 points from what it had been in the past. Yards per attempt, a lot of things that he was doing better. But this year, the start against the Jets, if he just plays a reasonably good game, they win that game. He threw all kinds of interceptions, turnovers. He was awful. Okay, you say it's just a bad game. But they start out and they start to do well. They've got all kinds of weapons on their offense at the expense of their defense, which isn't very good. And because Quinn misses on a couple guys, it means it's really bad. He just doesn't do well when they get to the point where it looks like, hey, they're making progress. He has been their biggest problem this year, and it's not going to work. He needs to get out of here, and this town needs him to get out of here. To me, that's kind of the final straw. It's like a baseball game. 3 strikes and you're out. I mean, we've seen it 2013, 15, and now in 2018. It's 10 years, okay? So, the contract and everything, I know it makes it a difficult situation, but it's not an impossible situation like some in the media are trying to portray it. And Stafford, if he's smart, he wants to get out of here. And Dallas and Denver are the 2 places that really need quarterbacks. Somehow, some way they could make it work that way, especially if they're able to get a couple number 1 picks, because draft picks are slotted now. You get some relief that way. It's not like the old days where a first-round pick cost you a fortune.